sage. A sage bundle will smudge you clean of ghosts and fears and anxieties. You just light it and the smoke curls around and you wash your body clean. This is an old Native American practice that really, really works. And I want to share with you something amazing that I just saw. I just saw online some ICE agents trying to do their nefarious things in a park with a woman who had a sage bundle, going over to the men and just, starting to smudge them. And the men freak. The ICE agents run for cover. Now, look, we need to analyze this a little bit because it's a really, really powerful thing here happening with this smudging. The spirit of this plant is a very holy spirit. It's brought into the sweat lodge, before the sweat lodge to cleanse you, before you go in, before any ceremony. And the thing is, one of the things that happens in our lifetimes is that we will, when we go through trauma, we will leave our bodies. It's kind of a known fact that people will vacate, they'll exit. And the problem with that about disassociation is that then spirit energies can come in. You can call them ghosts, you can call them occupying, possessing spirits, but other energies come in where we left off if we don't, come right back. And from maybe you take a sacred journey and you're anchored in yourself and you don't really leave. But a lot of times when we go through traumas, we really leave. Like, we don't want to be back in our lives anymore. Some part of us doesn't. Other parts of us stay, So when you have these ICE agents out there, these are people, these are men, these are people in our community who are possessed, basically, have had enough soul trauma in their lives, whatever they've gone through. They're missing a lot of their own souls. And when they're doing these horrible things, in some ways, it's not even them, it's occupying spirits. The thing about sage, when you bring sage into the picture, is that sage has a way of removing the ghosts. So when those men are running for cover, it's actually the entity spirits that are occupying them that are running, because they know they will be chased out by the smoke. So it's like involuntary. You look at this little video that was made of this woman doing this. This happened in the park recently. And you're like, what are the guys so afraid of? Like, woman power, just a little bit of smoke? Why are they running like that? Well, it's because the power of the magic feminine, the power of the herbs and the plants is a real thing. And when you have the Christians so afraid of like evil witches and sorcery, a lot of what they're afraid of is because these sacred practices, when they're malaligned, are being used by the Catholic Church, to abuse all those children, to mistreat all those Native American kids that were taken into custody by nunneries and such. That was sorcery at its worst, at its black magic level. And Christians know about this, but they don't know about the magic feminine and the healing power of it that it was originally intended for, and that is so successful. So I would suggest take your smudge wand, and anytime you see anybody who's in a negative space, especially people who are in the ICE brigades, go over and smudge them and say, I remove the evil spirits from you. I remove these entities that have taken over your life. You deserve a good life. You don't have to be doing this. And I call back your soul. I call back your spirit into you. You will no longer need to do this to claim to feel like you're a man, to feel powerful, or to feel that this is the way to get money. And as you speak these words, the sacred spirits of the sage plant, we're often praying to, like, oh, great creator, you help me, that's a big spirit, big creator, but like a plant spirit, like sage or tobacco. Those are very present spirits. Tobacco is very honoring, and it's mugwort that can move energies. So like if you have a lost cat or a lost dog, if you become friends with the mugwort plant, say you offer tobacco to it often enough and you journey to that plant and you make friends to, will you help me? Well, the mugwort plant has returned many lost animals to me, and lost possessions. And right now we have lost souls, right? Lost souls. So we can even call the spirit of mugwort. Very simple spirit. If you do have to make friends with it and get permission and get that plant on board. And you can tell by the way I talk that I really believe in this stuff. Like to me, this is not just a bundle of sage. This is a real spirit that comes when I burn this. And you don't even have to believe that to feel it. And there's magical things that happen, like the other night when I awoke to the sound of many geese singing above me, and they were really there, but they sounded like jazz flutes. And I knew when I heard that symphony in the geese, this was a special day. And sure enough, when I came down into this camper, the entire camper was filled with the smell of sage, and it lasted for about an hour or more. And it was like, why? How could that? What's going on? I wasn't burning sage, you know. There's no fireplaces near here. So, but then later in the day, I was given this sage bundle by a girlfriend who said, the spirit of this plant told me it needed to be with you. This is how the plants are listening to us. The spirits are listening to us. And so take pity on those ice agents, because realize that they have been hypnotized since they were young boys. They've been hypnotized by the video games that they played that indoctrinated them to hate women and anybody foreign, especially usually they would use Chinese people in these video games. I know because I had one of my friends, his son was totally addicted to those games, and it was quite a process to get this kid to even be able to control himself with his screaming fits, because he needed those games so bad once he was hooked. And when I sat down with him to find out, why do you love this so much, they were so funny. They were funny, humorous cartoon games, that seem innocuous. Oh, these aren't the ones where they're shooting each other up and bloody dead on the ground. No, these are the ones where they just hate girls and hate Chinese people, and every joke is aimed at them. So they've been forced into a kind of a hypnosis at a young age. And then there were, as they got a little older, there were the bloody games, which I would have kids at this center where I was taking care of kids, and they at a fitness center, and all the moms would bring them in with their games, and the games would be bloody war games for a little child. This is the indoctrination we allowed. We handed our kids these games. We Americans did this torturous destruction of their minds and didn't take them out to play and didn't give them the arts and didn't insist that all of the music and painting and those theater and dance remained in the schools. We gave them these games instead, and we used them as babysitters, and now we wonder why our own kids have turned against us. Okay, we can't just say, oh, it's all Baby Dump's fault and his horrible team of criminals right now. No, it's all of us created the atmosphere that is allowing this. And all of us can undo it by doing things like it's like an exorcism, extricating the ghosts, like facing them, like really. Some of it's pretty hard because kids get wired in their brains. This is how they were formed. They're knitted into porn on all this stuff that destroys their ability to connect on many levels with naturalness. But nobody is stuck in stone. That's the amazing thing about being human, right? It's totally amazing that we can look at this pot that's boiling. My daughter made that pot. Isn't it beautiful? Out of clay of the earth, she made it so beautiful. getting, and she's one of those people. She's a weaver, she's a potter, she's a painter. She wasn't given a life stuck on those phones, and she refuses now to get into them. She will only have it for texting, and she will not do Facebook and all this stuff because she's preserving her life with all she's got. Her soul matters to her. So at what point does your soul matter to you? Here we are sharing time on the phone, on the hypocritical shamanist lady. So how can we use it for the best, and because in the end, we are headed towards an AI country world, maybe. And what I want to give you for the last little thing of hopefulness is that the fear is that we'll all become robots. We won't think anymore. But look, this phase where AI is stealing everybody else's work, stealing everybody else's art, stealing everybody else's writing, that's going to get boring very soon. Because, like, somebody said that to me. Why do you even bother writing your books when you could just... And it's like, I love being a writer. Can you figure that out? I love being a musician. I don't want the robot to do it for me. No, I don't care if it's better with the robot. I want to do it. But there will be a time soon where that phase resolves itself, and then what happens is the AI world allows us to have all this free time to be artists. We're going to wonder what to do with ourselves. We're going to want to be better lovers. We're going to want to connect with the earth. We're going to want to learn how to grow food in a way that's not grueling and takes all of our time. We're going to want to be making our own clothes and dancing again and singing and really learning music and what real creativity is like when you have time for it, because your life isn't as bogged down with so many details of tedium. Okay? So you will be coming back to the magic feminine, to the magic earth, to the magic indigenous, because you'll be like, where's meaning? Without that, there's no meaning to anything, because the soul of the world is alive all around us. It's our disconnect from it that has made it meaningless. And it's our survival desperation that has made us feel like we're not valuable or that we have no freedom. But what's going to be happening and is happening is, as the pus of the boil that baby dumps regime and all of our terrible decisions has put in our face of our racism, as that lances the boil has been lanced. That's why the pus is flowing all over the United States, to see who we really have been all along. The country was based on the genocide of Native Americans and the backs of African Americans as slaves. That's been the great America that we were based on. And we have to create a completely different template for the new society, or else you can see where it heads to. It heads to just everybody turning on each other and losing women's rights and everybody's rights. That's where the basis, the foundation of our society ends up. And we're not good with it anymore. Now that we see it, now that we understand, oh, it's us, it's our lack of integrity, our lack of education to really face what we've done and what we have to do differently now. Oh, it's so exciting. So just bring your sage bundle out into the marketplace, bring it out to the war zones, bring it out to the marches, and just keep smudging away the ghosts. Get them to leave, because those ghosts are coming to planet Earth to just try to harvest our joy, harvest our love and brilliance and sweetness as humans, and mess it all up. And they're just ghosts. They're just ghosts. You can actually say, if you feel your life is a bit haunted and cloudy at times, you can just light your candle, light your sage, and just say, go. I claim my body. I claim my mind. My heart is not yours. You freaking get out of my space. And if you don't, I will incinerate you with the sacred fire. You won't be here anymore. You can threaten them. And actually, you can light a sacred fire and say to the fire, please burn up these entities that are on me and in me. And it will do it. Because you are the major healer of you. And that's the secret of the shaman, along with their friends in nature of the owl and the plants that help, and all of the elemental forces that help the shaman heal. It's mainly igniting all those forces in you, in us, as our own healing capacity awakens, ignites, then we're back. We're back into ourselves, and our wholeness is wow. It's a great feeling. And if you've had a terrible trauma as a tiny child, unspeakable traumas, then you might have more soul parts to call back that are afraid to come back. You need to make sure you've done the homework so that none of those conditions exist anymore that the child experienced, and you're not with those people anymore, and you're not going to put them in harm's way. That part of yourself needs to know they're safe before they come back. But you can call back many parts of yourself one by one and build on the energy of your uniqueness until you are a very powerful spirit. And you can heal those spirits before they come back. You can do meditations where you go to your spirit guides and you bring that soul part, that baby part, to the healing angels, and you let the healing love spirits completely nourish that child and undo the trauma and take out the evil that was other people's, it was never your own, and heal them. And then that energetic part gets to come back down and settle in you. And when that's called soul retrieval. And if you do that a number of times in your lifetime, you're going to find, that part of me that used to laugh so much, or that part of me that used to build with my blocks and was so into, architecture is back, and then the things that the dullness will be replaced by a living awakeness. All right, I'm going to have some of this. You know what I'm having for breakfast? I'm having hot water. Yeah, I got these minerals in my water now, and the minerals make the water, it's from the Adya Clarity that I've been taking, and it's like hundreds and hundreds of trace minerals in my water. So when I heat up the water, it's really nice. It just feels like enough, just hot water. Very purifying. Okay, much love, darling. Smudge the world.